All right. Welcome everyone to this week's live stream. It is Tuesday. As you guys already know, my live stream schedule is are on Tuesdays and Thursdays of each trading week. So every single trading week. And we begin these live streams at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Okay, so again, we start these live streams at 8 p.m. Pacific or 11 p.m. Eastern. All right. Okay, with that, let's begin. So SPY, I mean, what an incredible run, right? This is literally a V-shaped recovery, right? I mean, I can't even keep this here from last week because right now this entire run up, okay, has been absolutely incredible, right? So if I just go down from the lows here, we are up. Well, we were up 10% today. Okay, this is not really accurate, but it's if you just round up this number that's shown here, right, 9.82%. We're up 10% from lows. Well, from October's lows as we transferred over to November. And again, just to remind you guys, I told you guys back in midsummer in quarter 3 of this year, right, that we should be seeing an official pivot as we transfer from October to November. I've said that repeatedly on my Instagram page. So, it feels great to know that the market is following the exact seasonality trends to this date. And I truly believe we're going to see that until the end of this year, which means that, well, the end of the year rally is still intact. And so, with all that in mind now, with today's price action, okay, so what happened? So, quick summary, inflation was weak, right? Inflation is weak equals no more Federal Reserve rate hikes in the foreseeable future. That's it. That's literally it, right? That's the entire summary there. The market is not seeing any more rate hikes in the future, even into the last FOMC meeting that we have in December of this year. And what they're expecting now is to see 3 to 4 rate cuts in 2024. I believe, based on what I've read in the past few months and based on what I saw now, that number has increased to officially 4 rate cuts in 2024. Okay, so that's huge. That's big news. Okay, however, okay, now with all that generalized information, and that's really important information that you guys should know and understand. Today's price action was a little bit euphoric, like actually euphoric, right? Just slightly, because tomorrow we may see another slight pump until we reach over 450 once again. So around 451 to 451.50. However, okay, we are reaching a state of euphoria because we have 3 gap ups that we have not filled in. Okay, now I don't care if we don't fill in the first gap up that we made when we saw that actual pivot from that 409 to 415 demand area that I also told you guys about before we saw an actual pivot. The reason why is that, well, I mean, there's a lot of amount of buying that went in here, right? So I wouldn't expect this gap to be filled so quickly because that means if we ever reach this area again, that means we're back in the downtrend. And right now, in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm not expecting to see a large downtrend. Okay, so now that's one gap, but the other two gaps, including the one that was made today and last week, last week now, okay, in the same week here, between Thursday and Friday of 2 weeks ago, okay, this one can definitely be filled, all right. And even if that sounds a little too, far away, right? If you pull back that much, you guys might be saying, "Oh my God, Andrew is calling for a crash." No, I'm not. All right, I'm not calling for any type of crash. I haven't. All right, I've told you guys last year, all of last year, well, most of last year, around the last half of last year and into the end of the year in 2022, that 2023 to 2026 are going to be the best years to be involved in the stock market. All right. So don't remove yourselves from the stock market and keep at it. That's what I said. And so, I'm not really expecting any type of large, negative 20% plus market, crashes, right? The only thing that I'm expecting that's logical is the textbook correction that we just had too, from quarter 3 to the start of quarter 4, right? In textbook, minus 10% correction. So with that in mind now, with this state of euphoria, I'm going to be completely expecting the next 2 to 3 weeks for this entire move to be consolidated and priced in now, right? That means we're going to pull back, fill in this first gap up that we made between yesterday and today's price actions, and continue to go down, retest 440, retest 437, and eventually have both the 10 and 21 SMAs caught up to the price, right? The 10 is my red, the 21 is my light blue line, and they're gonna start kind of coiling with each other as the price also continues to move back and forth to the upside and to the downside, right? As it consolidates back and forth. So with SPY looking like that, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, okay, you can take advantage of this. How? By shorting, right? We can short the market and you can continue to keep at that short until we have 100% filled in this gap. Because let me tell you guys right now, this gap has to be filled because we are in an official state of euphoria, and this euphoric price action that we saw today from pre-market overnight to where we're at now and where we closed, that's something that you guys should understand, that yes, we are definitely in the state of euphoria because of these two reasons that I've just stated, right? So again, this gap up has to be filled. And this may or may not be filled, maybe halfway, maybe fully. But again, this gap up has to be filled. So the best way to take opportunity of that is shorting. And that's the reason why I got a pretty out the money put today. And I truly believe that I'm most likely going to have to roll up. But I just want to see some profits first. But it's a strike and an expiration that I really didn't want, but I wanted to try because today, again, just crazy amount of FOMO buying, especially today, right? I thought I saw the worst of FOMO buying last week, but today, this is like the actual day where we had the combination of FOMO completely mixed and turned with the state of euphoria, right? So this is one of those times when you need to be selling, right? This is where we are, where everyone is, tapping each other on the back. They're tapping themselves in the back and they're congratulating themselves. They're clapping for themselves, and that's usually a sign that we need to be selling into this price action. Okay, and now that leads me into what we want to talk about today, and that's the other part of the title here for our live. Oh, and I just noticed, but 6 likes. Wow. Let's see if we can get to 10. Let's see. I know that I tend to pass 10, or I reach 10 after my live stream is over and you guys are watching the recording, but that's completely fine too. So I want to talk about small caps. So small caps, monstrous move, right? This is a total monster. And the price action was completely monstrous today. And this is truly telling you that the market has bottomed out when the small caps are raging like this today. and they were nearly up 6% today if they had gotten up to 179.50 or even 180. But unfortunately, they only went up 5.49%. I mean, that's a huge move up, index-wise, right? And SPY was only up 1.94%, but obviously you can't really compare the percentage points. But just based on the number itself, the actual percentage, right? IWM, this is a huge move, right? This is an absolutely big move, and I caught most of this move, right? And the thing is, with IWM, UWM as well. This is another trade that I got. Okay, so let me actually give you guys the actual contracts. So IWM swing trade that was given yesterday, right? 180 strike calls that expire on January 19, 2024, and then a UWM position, 30 strike call contracts that expire on April 19, 2024. Okay, so the IWM was nearly at the money and UWM was all the way in the money, right? Now, UWM, I decided to take profits a little bit earlier, a little too early, but am I worried? I am not, because IWM and UWM are looking to be very good long-term plays into the end of the year. And there are a plethora of very good reasons that I've explained in the market summary of this week's CFO Swing and Watch newsletter. So if you guys want to read that, make sure you guys join or just DM me on Instagram or email me and let me know what's up. And yeah, I will discuss that further with you. But IWM, UWM, they have some really good strength. I think they have a lot of room to run, especially to catch up to the overall markets. Because again, if you take a look at even just a monthly chart on IWM, F it. Let's look at the monthly chart. Okay, IWM had made new lows, in October, and they basically completely 100% and even more erased all the gains that they made this year, just this year so far. And so with this type of price action so far from just this week alone and in the month of November, there's a good chance that we may revert back to this critical supply area that I've been talking about 3 times. So all of these arrows are when I talked about this level, okay, or this area. So 198 to 200 is a huge supply level that IWM has to get back up to for the 4th time. And usually on the 4th time, we tend to see a big breakout. And that's exactly what I want to see. Okay, so IWM, there is so much room for this one to get right back to 198.50 to that 200 supply area or range. So make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled on small caps into the end of the year. Now, there's a lot more information in my CFO Swing and Watch that I sent out this week on Sunday night about IWM and what we can expect into next year as well. So make sure you guys join the newsletter, right? So these are really, really good trades. The IWM was sitting at 110% at market open. UWM was over 50%, and then I took profits at 60%, even though I should have held until it reached, I believe it reached the triple percentage at closing as well. But you know what? There's still so much room left for this name to move. So I'm really not that, I don't think I have any FOMO at all in my bones, because today was an incredible day to take profits. And if the market really does pull back, and I think there's a 100% chance that the market can actually pull back now after this huge state of euphoric price action mixed with actual FOMO price action, IWM and UWM can definitely be taken on a dip, and I will welcome it wholeheartedly, right? And SPY as well, I can add another layer of long-term calls, long-term leaps, right? My leap position is doing so well. And I really want to show you guys the percentage point that I have returned so far, but I really want to show you near the expiration, which is gonna be, you guys will see. But I have one position that's all day into 2025 and another position into the end of 2024. So You guys will see that one near those end of those years. But hopefully, the market continues to do well from 2023 to 2026, as I've been touting constantly for this entire year and most of last year as well. Okay, so I think again, short-term wise, we are indeed ready for a pullback. Like, this is absolutely necessary. Okay, now let's talk about something very, very important. All right, before I head on into more of the broader markets analysis. Okay, so even if the market is pulling back, I expect this specific group to still do amazingly well. Can anyone guess what that is? No one? Software names. Okay, it's a very general group, but software names. Why? Because they have been leading this rally up along with the semiconductor sector and industry as a whole. But when the market pulls back, I still expect the software names, individual names, to do really, really well. For example, okay, Crowd. I've mentioned this one. Crowd has been doing phenomenally well. Right, this is over $200 now per share. It's right back, and it's made new highs as well for this entire year. Okay, it's now passing the highs that we made back in Q3 of last year. Okay, and Net as well. Hey, Sparky, yes, you got that right. I didn't know you're in here. Exactly. Yes. So Net on the weekly time frame as well. Okay, we gotta take a look at the weeklies now. So, before I move on, okay, since we're now nearing the end of the month, right, and end of the year now. End of the quarter is what I meant to say. The quarter and end of the year. We need to start looking at the bigger time frames, the higher time frames, the HTFs, because we need to expand our time frame as the market will also do the same, and many hundreds of thousands of other traders and investors like us. Okay, so Net on the weekly looks absolutely gorgeous, right? I mean, this looks absolutely amazing, and obviously these entries worked out perfectly fine. Now, Net is over $70 now. This is the initial target, so I'm going to expect some sort of a small pullback, maybe even an inside week in the next couple of weeks. Who knows, right? So at least to consolidate this large move up like we did on earnings week, and the next week after that where we saw the little tiny consolidation. But who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. But right now we need some sort of consolidation on NET. This is going to be a really high watch for me too, just like it was with Crowd, Zscaler, okay, even Okta, right? OKTA, even though they've had bad news. But again, I'm going to expect this entire group, the software group, to be leading the charge higher, even if the market decides to pull back from the euphoric highs that we just made. So Net, I might see maximum 67.50 as a retest, and minimum like 68, right? 69, 68. Okay. Actually, let me change that. Maybe maximum around 67, right? Just exactly 67, and then minimum 68, 69 for a slight pullback. And then we continue to go up higher until we retest 72. Okay. Now, if you go back on the daily now, okay, this one is it's getting there. The relative strength is popping off. That's great. And the fact that we're reaching weekly and monthly resistance levels at 70 and 72, this is looking like it's about to have a huge burst of momentum to the upside, right? And just frankly speaking, the price has basically gotten nowhere since, well, if I go all the way back here, back in February of this year. So again, it kind of reminds me of Crowd, where Crowd didn't go anywhere, right, for this entire year. And Net hasn't gotten anywhere since this entire year too. Basically, it's gone right back into the price range of the first quarter of this year. So, I'm going to expect some sort of large breakout into the end of the year and into next year as well. And I'm going to continue to expect relative strength coming back and continuously pushing the entire software group into next year. Okay, so relative strength. So something to keep your guys' eyes on. Okay, again, like ZS too, right? ZS absolutely amazing price action today as well. Continuously, just higher highs, higher lows. Twilio, another name to be looking out for, absolutely amazing. Team, right? Atlassian Corporation. Okay, amazing reversal today. Right, absolutely good reversal from this descending resistance trend line. Okay, bam. Okay, really, really good. Okay, excuse my really quick trend line drawing, but you guys get the idea. So this is, I'm probably going to be looking at this one tomorrow as well. I might take some spreads with a, at least December expiration. Okay, but names like this, so similar names like this, right, is what I'm going to be looking at into the end of the year, right? Because it's going to be, again, I wholeheartedly expect them to continuously move higher, even if the market pulls back. Okay, now since I'm done with that little section, and again, very, very important that you guys remember what I said there. So SPY also has a bunch of other reports coming out. PPI, and OPEX. OPEX every third Friday of the month, of every new trading month. Okay, so it's this Friday. I really think we're gonna see another red OPEX day, and that'll be really perfect for the markets. I don't care if we make a little tiny pop again tomorrow again. Like I said, 450 to 451. Who knows? We might do a little pop again. We might even open up at 450 to 451. Who knows? I don't care. As long as we see OPEX, or at least when we're leading into OPEX, so maybe even Thursday and Friday, I want them to be red. I want Friday to start us into that nice pullback into this gap, so that we start this gap fill. Okay, and again, I'm 100% guaranteeing that this gap is going to be filled. Okay, this is the third time that we've gapped up for the past 2.5 weeks. Okay. Oh yes, Sparky. Thank you. Snow as well. Okay, Snow. So this one has also really good breakout, great consolidation the past few weeks, the past few trading days. And let me actually use this trend line. And this has also broken out really well. And there's a huge level here that I've drawn a long time ago at 166, which was a previous level of support. Very significant. How do we know this? Because we reacted to it multiple times, and including today. All right, 166.28 was the high of today. And again, we closed right underneath this resistance level at 166. So I wouldn't be surprised, again, if we do see a pullback. Software names might see that slight pullback that I've also mentioned in names like NET a few minutes ago. And if I kind of apply the same analysis that I did with NET to Snow, we can possibly see another retest of 162 to 163, bounce, head back up to 166, and then continuously break to the upside and reach this huge supply area that expands from 166 to 185. Okay, 185, right? Now, above 185 is another supply area between 192 to 185. But again, we're not going to look into that too much right now since we're still down here. But Snow also has a lot of potential. So Sparky, thank you very much. Good eye. I completely forgot about this other software name. But again, you guys get the idea. All right. And for the people who are just joining in, make sure you guys hit that like button. But make sure you guys also, most importantly, go back to the recording. Okay, so again, what was I saying here? SPY, right? SPY. Into Thursday, into OPEX this Friday, I'm gonna be looking for red day, okay, or red days, or a nice big pullback that actually starts us into moving below this gap up that we made today. Because again, 100%, I will be expecting a gap fill. All right, I said that enough times, so you guys should get the idea. All right, so let's take a look at the broader markets now. So I'm gonna talk about my UUP position. I am short the greenback, the dollar. And guess what? Here is when I got short. So let me actually grab the actual date. How about that? Okay. So, yes, here we go. So UUP, I mentioned it on October 11th. And I believe I got it on, yes, right here. I got it on October 30th, and then I added on October 31st, and then I continued to hold. Continue to hold. So that position was completely held until, well, today, and I'm still holding. And so, I'm really glad that I saw that this bull flag looked kind of weak. And it ultimately failed because, I mean, if you guys take a look at the actual US dollar index, DXY, it's still moving down. And I'm going to see a retest around the daily 200 SMA, which is around 103.50. Okay, so, you know, expect a nice move down on the dollar, which is going to catapult gold and commodities as a whole. And, you know, even gold miners had a nice jump today as well, nice gap up. And I'm going to be expecting UUP to continue to go down. And if you guys are wondering which strike, well, here it is. Okay, so I got the 30 put strike contract, 30 strike put contracts, January 17th, 2025. So I practically have 2 years on this position, a little more than 2 years. And I'm already in the money, deeply in the money on these UUP position. Okay, and my contracts are up very, very nicely. And I'm going to be expecting to hold this one all the way up into, you know, at least 28.50 before I start taking profits. And I hopefully I can see, you know, the dollar coming back down to around like $28 in the long run. And my position should be really, really deep in the money. And again, I'm really glad I got that position on October 30th, and then added on October 31st on Halloween, and I continue to hold that position to this day. And my 30 strike put option contracts with this long-term expiration, I mean, I could literally just leave it. I don't even have to look at it or touch it anymore, right? Because the downtrend has started, and based on how the economy is looking, based on what the Federal Reserve is doing, based on how the bond markets are working, and equity markets are looking forward into next year and into 2026. I mean, I may be saying this a little bit too early, but I'm fairly confident that the dollar should continue to go down. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of catalyst, conflicts, whatever it is that will affect the greenback here. I know that's going to happen. So I will obviously keep a very good eye on my position. But again, this is now just a hands-off position now. I have really good expiration until my option contracts mature. And, you know, it really doesn't bother me too much because I have such good time. And it's a pretty big position too. So I'm liking this one. I'm glad I was able to, again, know that this bull flag looked a little bit fishy to me and ultimately failed. Okay? So that is one position that I want to talk about. And then TLT, the bonds, the bond markets. Again, I told everyone about 2.5 weeks ago that I truly believe that the bond markets have bottomed out, right? And even last week when we had that really bad demand for the 30-year, that bond auction, the bond market didn't care, right? I mean, this is the day here, okay, on November 9th, on Thursday of last week. And we're completely past that now, right? We regained the losses that we made on Thursday completely, right? And much more. And so again, long-term bonds, okay, even short-term bonds, right? 37-year Treasury bond ETF IEI, I'm still holding it. This one is really deep in the money now. If you guys want to know the specific contracts, let me tell you guys. Okay, so this one is really deep in the money now. Yes, so it's 113 strike call contracts that expire on December 15th. So I'm gonna be expecting to take profits in this one, probably by the end of the month or maybe even the first week of December, depending on how it goes. But I truly believe IEI has room to 115. This is my next kind of a target. Why? Because IEI is going to be having that 115 level coinciding with the daily 200 SMA, which is now curling down and trying to catch up to the price, which means we're going to eventually hit it. Okay, and with the combined factor of the bond markets completely in recovery mode, and the fact that rates in 2024 are not going to see any more interest rate hikes. The market, again, I said this at the start of the live stream, right? The market, as a general summary, is expecting no more interest rate hikes for the rest of this year and into next year. And the fact that we're now seeing, the market is now pricing in that we're about to see an increase in rate hikes. I believe we went from like 3 to 4? Yeah, 3 to 4. So now officially 4 rate hikes into 2024. That should be saying something. All right. So bonds, really good long-term hold. Okay. And again, I've told everyone, right? I've told you guys this too, that bond markets have bond prices have bottomed. but bond yields are now completely in capitulation mode, right? So with the 10-year yield, TNX, everyone watches, going down and moving below the 50 SMA now, this is really good, right? This is great news. And we have a long way down into the daily 200 before we see any type of a small bounce in bond yields. Okay, so TLT, IEI, both of my bond positions are really looking good. I should have gotten a little bit heavier on the IEI position, but you know what? It's all right. I mean, I'm up 50% today on that position. That's really good. It's really, really good. So, oh no, sorry. TLT is on 50%. My bad, guys. TLT is 50%. IEI is 45%. All right. So, you know, really, really good moves. IEI deeply in the money now because I have the 113 strike call contracts, and obviously, you know, the actual price is 114 now. So, you know, all these long-term positions in bonds, the short position in the dollar, they're looking to be really good heading into next year and, well, for the entirety of next year. Okay? So that is exactly it for this video. This live stream here. Well, if you guys are watching the recording, then it's just a video. But, you know, hopefully this is a really good insight into the short-term perspective and what you guys should be expecting by the end of this week. Because again, OPEX and other economic reports, right? You know, for the long term, with bonds, dollar, and even just on overall the overall market, you know, hopefully this is a really good breakdown on what you guys should be expecting for the end of the year, even into the end of the month of just this month alone, and into next year and possibly into 2026. Because why? As I've been saying, 2023 to 2026 are the years. And people were telling me that I was wrong. I was completely wrong, right? I mean, I know how to keep myself humble, but those people have still been saying that I'm wrong this entire year. Right? Every single time we made a nice like 5% takedown or move down or even a textbook correction, everyone was saying, well, not everyone, but people have been telling me that, oh my God, this guy again, right? Is he still believing that we're in a bull market? Well, I mean, the entirety of 2023 has been a new bull market, so I don't know what they're on about, but whatever, whatever. But yeah, guys, on a serious note, 2023 to 2026, I'll say it again. 2023 is about to be over here. Take advantage. You still have approximately 2 to 2.5 years left, I would say, for you guys to be really, really building up your wealth. These are your years. Okay, these 3 years, this 3-year time frame that I've given you guys since last year in 2022. Okay, so make sure you guys hit that thumbs up if you guys have been listening to me. There are many doubts. I even posted people who are doubting that last year and into even earlier this year, and you know, I haven't heard from them since. They're still hibernating. They have not been participating in this run up, but probably now, as they're heading into the end of the year. Right? They're like, oh my God, you know what? I had to give in to whatever this guy Andrew said about 2023 to 2026. So, okay, now at this point, I'm just a little bit reaching there now, but you guys know what I mean. All right. So, hopefully, you guys have been finding these live streams helpful. I hope to see you guys back on Thursday, and I'm really hoping by Thursday we're looking to see a nice pullback into the markets, or we're already seeing a pullback in Thursday. And as we're heading into OPEX, we're starting to fill in that third gap that we made in the past 2.5 weeks. Okay? Alright, so yeah, that's it tonight, guys. Hopefully my energy was palpable. I was really excited today. Great profits for the entirety of this entire day, really, from morning to closing time in the market. And yeah. I'll see you guys on Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as you guys already know. But hey, 7 likes. Thank you guys so much. We're really close to 10 likes. Pretty sure we'll get there based on how you guys use this very applicable information that I always give you guys, and very, very helpful, and most importantly, well, very significant and important information. So make sure you guys hit that like button. It really helps. You know, I think that's the best thing that you guys can ever do for me, for any of my live streams or any videos that I record. But even better than that, make sure you guys are subscribed and have that notification bell on. Okay, so again, thank you guys so much for the continued support since, well, Charts Focus 1 began. We have grown out a lot. We're at 345 subscribers. We're getting more views on these live streams because people are noticing that, well, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about, right? You know, I'm not saying I never get things wrong. I made a mistake. Like you guys will know if you guys have watched my 2 previous live streams, so make sure you guys watch that. I talk about that mistake. But you know, again, make sure you guys are just paying attention, right? Just be aware of what's going on. Even if you guys don't agree with me, just make sure you guys are understanding what's going on, right? I try to make sure I have an objective opinion in the markets, and right now, my objectivity and even subjectivity at this point is that 2023 to 2026 are going to be the years to be really involved in the markets. All right, so with that, have a great rest of your night. And to all the members who are watching, I'll see you guys back in the Discord. I'll give you guys some chart updates and what we should be looking out for tomorrow. All right, good night, guys, and good luck. Thank you guys so much for your time.